All right, friends, we'll now talk about some concepts of continuity, differentiability and smoothness. If you remember, when we wrote down the finite difference approximation to some differentials, we used the Taylor series expansion, and we said that that is possible when you have a smooth function and higher order derivatives exist. So the question is, can we quantify smoothness? Can we really say how smooth a function is? So that's one thing we want to talk about. So first I want to introduce the concept of an interval. So the open and closed intervals. So all of you are familiar with this, just a review. So we are going to talk about, let's say, a domain, let's say 0 to 1. This is just an example. And if I talk about the domain omega, which is 0 to 1, then this is a closed domain, and I put a bar on top of it just to show that 0 and 1 are included. So the boundary points are included. On the other hand, I could talk about an open interval wherein 0 and 1 are excluded. So 0 to 1 is just an example. This could very well have been A to B, and I can also generalize this in multiple dimensions. So if I talk about 2 dimensions, then I would be talking about omega is an area and the boundary is a curve. So if the curve is included, that's a closed domain. If the curve is excluded, then we are talking about an open domain. So this is just some notation. Okay, so we now are ready to talk about some elementary discussion on continuity, differentiability, and smoothness. So I'll begin with some definitions and then give you some examples to cement the idea. So definition number 1. A function f which is defined on omega and it's a real valued function. So I am talking about a function which is real valued and it is defined on this domain omega, and notice I have not put a bar on it, so it's an open domain. So it's an open interval, is said to be k times differentiable if its derivatives of order j, where j lies between 1 to k. In fact, I could even include 0 without differentiating it, the function itself exist and are continuous. Such a function is said to be of class C k. Okay. So, what we are saying is that if I have a function which I can differentiate k times, and if the derivative, the existing derivative of course exists and it is continuous over this open interval omega, then I will claim it belongs to the class Ck. So, if I give the example of let us say x square, y equal to x square on the interval 0 to 1, okay. The function itself is continuous, so definitely it is of the order C0 because the function is continuous. If I take its first derivative of x square, which is 2x, that is also continuous over 0 to 1, therefore that function is also of the class C1. If I take the second derivative, that would be simply 2, so that function is also continuous, so it is of the class C2, and I can keep on differentiating it. Of course, higher order derivatives are all 0, but they exist and they are continuous. So, therefore, y equal to x square over the interval 0 to 1 is a C infinite function. Okay. So, special case is a C infinite function where the function itself is continuous and all its derivatives, all the higher order derivatives, they exist and are continuous. Okay. So, I gave you one example of such a function. Okay. The next definition is the following. So, again a function, a real valued function f on domain omega is said to be of class C Bk if it is Ck and is bounded that is I should be able to find a constant C for which fx is always less than this pre-assigned constant C, where C is a real constant, and this holds for all x that belongs to the domain omega. So, clearly the example that I gave you, y equal to x square, is not only C infinite, but it is also a bounded function, and therefore it would be of the class CB infinite. So, example y equal to x square is CB infinite on 0 to 1, right. So, I just wanted to make a note here that if the definition of C k is on omega bar, then the distinction between Ck and Ckb disappears. Okay. So, normally we talk about a closed interval, and then if you have a continuous function and k derivatives also being continuous, then it turns out that you can say it is also bounded. Okay. Now, the reason we are doing this is because we will use certain interpolation functions to do finite elements, and these concepts will be useful. Okay. So, we are going to use functions that are not going to be infinitely differentiable and infinitely continuous. Okay. So, the functions themselves, for example, may be continuous, but their first derivative may not be continuous, and so on. So, let me give you some examples. So, let omega bar be given as 0 to 1 and omega is 0 to 1. So, if I look at f x equal to 1, x, x square, x cube and so on, all these monomials, then these are C B infinite. Okay. Each of these functions I can differentiate them infinite number of times, and the resulting answer would be bounded as well as continuous over the interval 0 to 1. Okay. So, that is one point. If I look at f x equal to 1 by x, again on the same interval 0 to 1. Now, you will see that at x equal to 0 there is a problem. Okay. So, so this function is continuous, and so are all its derivatives, but it is not bounded. So, therefore, it is a C infinite function, but not C infinite B. Why is that? Well, I could draw y equal to 1 by x, with x this is 0, this is 1, and at 1 of course I would get a value which is 1, but this function would look something like this, right. Of course, I am only interested between 0 and 1. So, you can give me a C, a constant C. Suppose this is the constant. I can always find a value of x where it exceeds this value of C. Okay. So, anytime you give me that the function is less than a certain number C, I can always pull up a value closer to 0 which would exceed this value C, and therefore, you cannot specify a bound a priori, and therefore, this function is not bounded. But if you exclude this, then you know all the higher order derivatives, they exist and they are continuous between 0 and 1 if I exclude x equal to 0. Okay. So, here is an example of a function which is C infinity, but not C infinity B. Let us look at another function. So, another example which is very typical of a finite element function. So, let us look at this function, let us say between 0 and 1, and suppose it looks like this. So, this is f of x. So, let me define f of x as it is x for x less than equal to half, and it is half for x greater than half. So, let us say this value is half. I am sorry, the sketch is not to scale, but you get the idea. So, clearly this is a continuous function. Okay. So, it is also bounded because I can always specify a value, maybe a little bit more than a value of half, and the function is always less than that value. So, it is definitely a C0 function and it is bounded. Okay. Now, let us look at f prime x. So, if I try to draw f prime x, then you will notice that from here to here I have a positive value, and then I have a 0 value in the rest of the domain. So clearly this value is 1 and this value is 0. So let me darken it a little bit. So now the first derivative exists, but it is not continuous. Okay. So therefore this is a C0b function. So first derivative exists but is not continuous. I am sorry, yeah, C0b function. Okay. Let us talk about another concept. So we will talk about something called Sobolev spaces. So let us define Sobolev spaces as spaces of the order k. So these are defined on the domain omega such that, so this is a space of all those functions w. Let us say w is a function of x such that w belongs to L2, w comma x belongs to L2 and so on, and w comma x k times also belongs to L2. So let me repeat. A function is of the order or is of the, it belongs to the space Hk if the function itself is L2, its first derivative is L2, second derivative is L2, all the way to the kth derivative. We had talked about an L2 function in the last class, but let me repeat this for you, where L2 essentially defined over a domain omega implies that it is a function w such that if I carry out the integral over the domain 0 to 1, then the square is bounded. So it's a, so L2 is essentially square integrable. Okay. So Sobolev spaces consists of functions w. So Hk is a Sobolev space of functions w which have derivatives up to order k that are square integrable. Okay. So I hope the definition is clear. So this is just an introduction to a simple space denoted by Hk. Okay. So suppose I talk about H0. H0 means it consists of w, functions w, such that w belongs to L2. As simple as that. So I just need to take the function itself and make sure it is square integrable. If I talk about H1, then w as well as w comma x, the first derivative should belong to L2. Similarly, if I talk about H2, then w comma x and w comma xx, the second derivative must belong to L2. Now we will try to make a connection between the ideas of smoothness defined by this integration process and the ideas which we defined a little bit earlier about the continuity and differentiability, and it turns out they are both related. So let us talk about that.